Well, what is going on, my people? What is going on? What is going on? Today, we got a nice suggestion and a nice dono from the constant supporter of the channel, Jen. And I really appreciate you, Jen. And I know I probably, by now you should feel supported, I hope, but know that I appreciate your support heavily. I always have, always will, and I really do appreciate it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but we're gonna go with Ekoh because I like it because it reminds me of Ekoh the Dolphin. Did y'all ever play Ekoh the Dolphin? That game on Sega, I played it on Sega Genesis. Fire game, one of the best soundtracks in video game or any medium history. Go check it out. Ekoh, the one who holds the light. This is a first time react. I don't know nothing about this cat, but Jen is big on the hip hop. She knows I'm big on hip hop. She kind of knows my taste at this point. So we're gonna trust the process and we're gonna get into this Ekoh, the one who holds the light. Let's get into it. Don't let me down, Jen, don't let me down. You can never. See if the captions work.
Thinking I have it all, pocket full of bottles of opiates and this Adderall, stolen from the purse in my mom's room, telling me do as I say, do not do as I do. Thinking about the end, well then the beginning most days, feeling like I'm lost or permanently in role play. Never say this, imagining things I don't say. Wanna talk shit, just know I don't play. The game won't save like a checkpoint. Wanna speak, gotta turn, go ahead boy. Put an X in the middle of your head boy. I've been making moves like I'm already dead boy. Lost soul, trying to find a way to love myself. I got hurt that hurt somebody else. Angry every time I'm looking back, I'm a misfit with it to my past. Whole life, I've been looking for myself for no light. So dark in my heart, so don't mind when I'm drowning again. I made a friendship with all of my sins. I need some help, but don't know where it is. Give me some hope if you know where it went. If you really love me, then tell me again. Yo, Tesla whip, I take off at light speed. I feel the pull of two wolves inside me. Good versus evil, both know and like me. Childhood home just fucked up my psyche. Fighting with demons to hide the truth. They look like some angels when light hits them at certain angles. And others, they look like a stranger. So do me a favor, don't try to move. Yo, blood on my veins, dirt in the fingernails. A couple of bands that I need just to breathe well. Thinking about the shit that I done, I don't sleep still. Wonder if the devil sees me in the details. So way down like wet clothes, but I still put the city on my back.
Yeah, I always find it interesting when we use and I won't say that I caught flack for this, but it was funny because I said this in another video where it's like some people want to be validated very heavily. And, like 99% of the people, we had a good discussion. Of course, there's always the 1%ers where it's like, it's not your place to say when people can be validated and to everyone is valid in their own right. No, I don't fucking agree. Shut the fuck up. No, some people are too valid. They're too validated. And what I mean by this is when you have somebody like this where your upbringing has a lot to do with who you are as an adult, right? So like the way that you were raised, the way that you were, the nature versus nurture, who you hung with, what your parents were like, what you were allowed to do, what you got away with, what you were exposed to. And I think that as children, obviously that has such an influence on the makeup of who we are as adults, which is fine. But so many people want to be validated with who they are as an adult, what kind of trauma responses they have as an adult, who they keep in their circle as an adult, how they respond to certain situations and events as an adult. And they always go back to, well, when I was 7 years old. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't care, bro. Like I'm very empathetic to horrible childhoods. I'm very empathetic to bad experiences and it just having such a toll on you. But I'm also empathetic and sympathetic to other people not having to deal with your trauma and your baggage and your bullshit. I'm also empathetic to that. And I try to tote a very careful balance between not being empathetic enough to the victim, but then also being empathetic enough to the person who's potentially being victimized. And that's a hard balance that I think a lot of people don't like to be honest about, because it's very easy to go victim, be empathetic. That's it. Oh, close doors. But then what about what that victim does to me? So if a victim goes up and lights up a school, should I then be empathetic to the victim, but then also make sure that I'm striking a careful balance to the kids? No, fuck that person. They just lit up a school. Fuck that. I don't care. So as mean as that may sound, or as unkind as that can sound, I say all that to say there were a couple of bars that he said, which I like how he said it, but it brings up an interesting topic and conversation where it's like, where he goes, I wonder if the devil I wonder if the devil sees the details. And then, he talks about his childhood home and this and that. And then it's like, on one hand, it's like, I always think about these people who have very fucked up childhoods and they're able to turn that into art. But then other times I'm wondering, okay, great. What have you done to get past that? Like, did you just channel it fully into your art, but then never deal with it? Or, is there more to come? Like, so I don't know. That was my little random mid video rant. But I'm just curious what y'all take from that when y'all hear rappers and musicians and your favorite artists and your friends and other people have a lot to say about what they've gone through, but it was 30 years ago. Are you justifying them? Do you still validate them because they're your people? Do you ask questions to get information as to what they're doing for it lately? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Fire bar though. It opened a discussion. It just made me want to talk more about it, but I was just curious y'all's take.
No time for the hate and broke hoes. Escape writing rhymes in his pad. Back in the dark, I lived alone, but my worst pieces found a place in there to hide. Took roots and grew where everything would die if they get too big and hope that won't survive. So I had to go illuminate my life in the deepest depths of all the rooms inside. I would learn to love that ugly, but would find that I still don't know the one that holds the light. Yeah. Whole life, I've been looking for myself and no light. So dark in my heart, so don't mind when I'm drowning again. I made a friendship with all of my sins. I need some help, but don't know where it is. Give me some hope if you know where it went. If you really love me, then tell me again.
I like that hook. I like that hook. I like that hook a lot. So one thing about the hook that I wanted to say, when he goes like, I'm reading now because I wanted to make sure I got this part right, where he says, give me some hope if you know where it went. If you really love me, then tell me again. See, like, it's interesting when I hear stuff like that, because on one hand, I want to be like, bro, like, not bro, like I ain't talking to a dude when I'm having this conversation. But it's like, on one hand, I want to be like, you know how I feel about you. I say it all the time. You know I love you. You know I support you. You know I want the best for you. I don't like when you're in pain. I don't like it. I feel like my actions have shown that. But on the other hand, I want to be like, damn, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? Do I not really understand the level of trauma or the level of pain that this person has went through? Like, I don't know. When he goes like, I made a friendship with all of my sins. I need some help, but don't know where it went. This is somebody to me where it's like, I hear bars like this, not saying this is him, by the way, just analyzing the lyrics, where it's like, we always find ways to ask for help, even if we're not truly asking for help. On some ways, asking for help is very direct, but in a lot of ways, asking for indirect help can be hard for some people to fathom and gather. And that was an empathetic lesson that I had to go through as I got older, where all this time I'm like, ask me for help. You know I want to help you. I'm your friend. And then when I actually think about it, it was a interesting self introspection to be like, well, maybe I didn't give that person the space to ask me for help, or maybe they asked me for help indirectly and I dismissed it. I didn't really pick up on it. I'm supposed to be their friend, and I didn't pick up on them that they needed my help, or that they wanted to be loved, or that they needed more support than I was able to give them. And so I really like when people can be both understanding of the pain that their pain can cause other people, but also can have the strength to ask, need, and want help. And I just think that that's pretty cool. That's that level of resilience and adversity that we don't talk about enough. It's very easy to always stick to the pain and stick to the negative and stick to the turmoil and stick to what's bad, but it's much harder to accept all of that and realize you have a hand and a help to play in your own guidance to happiness and to your own guidance to peace. It's not my job to give you peace, but as your friend, as your partner, as your love, whatever, it's definitely my role that I took on to help guide you there and to help bridge that gap between you knowing how to do it and not, but it's not my job to provide it for you. And so I like this song in the sense that it stems, or it breeds that conversation of like, do as I say. What are you doing? Don't listen to the bad things that I did. You'll never be anything. You'll never understand how good you had it. You'll always be a piece of shit. You'll stop trying to find hope because you'll never get there, and yet still wanting it. Taking all of that pain, angst, and anguish and still looking for more. So I like it. This brought back, or this gave more discussion than I thought it would, but it's a good song. And I love, Jen, that you always seem to try to put, like, I ain't gonna say smaller artists because that sounds insulting, but it is what it is. We react to people who have millions and millions or hundreds of thousands, of subs and views and all that. And here's this dude with 34,000 views 3 weeks ago. So like, I like that you take the time to do that. And then it allows me to also be able to see what these newer artists are doing, give them a tiny bit of voice that I can give, and really try to resonate. Again, we all like resonating. That's why we react. I don't know if reactors say that enough, but at least for me, that's why I react. Not just to understand and dissect bars and understand these songs, but also to see if I see a bit of myself in their pain and their triumph, you know, in their emotional state. Like, I like putting myself in their shoes and seeing what they were trying to get to. So this was cool. Thank you for this. I really appreciate it, Jen. I always appreciate when you put me on something. So thank you. What did y'all think about it? People who aren't Jen, Jen, of course, leave a comment, but people that ain't her, if you took the time to listen to this and have, you know, and maybe have a conversation in your head with me, get it on paper, get it in the comment section. What did you think? What did you take from that? And what do you think about the whole empathy, sympathy piece and that balance between the victim, the victimizer, and then the environment around them? Like, what's your take on that? What do you do? So let me know, comment, engage with me. But as always, I really appreciate y'all. I hope you'll like, comment, share, hit the notification bell. I hope you'll keep vibing and rocking with me. I love doing this and I love interacting with y'all. So let's keep that going. We got about a month and a half into the year left, and let's end it with a banger. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all in the next video. Bye.
No time for the hate and broke hoes. Escape right rhymes in this pad. Back in the dark, I lived alone, but my worst pieces found a place in there to hide. Took roots and grew where everything would die if they get too big and hold up.